There we are. I forgot my green tea. Hold on. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody doing? I'm like, wait a minute. I did not grab my green tea. All right. Refreshing. I love green tea. I don't care. People will say, oh, that's bad for you. It's this, it's that, the other thing. Listen, everything's killing us, folks. And no matter here's a little nugget for everybody. No matter how much you exercise, no matter how much you eat right, no matter how much you get proper sleep, we're all ending up in the same place. Some of us sooner than others. So there we go. I have decided, and like I said, I definitely could lose some weight. Not saying that I'm in the greatest shape in the world, but I have decided I am going to enjoy myself no matter what. I'm not going to try to overindulge, don't get me wrong, but there's certain things that I like, and I'm going to do what I like, and that's about it. And green tea is one of my vices, if you will. Like if it's oh my God, he's drinking a green tea. I mean, it's all right. Anyway, before we jump into anything, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you can't abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to boot you out of here. It's as simple as that, okay? And so let's please be decent with each other and stuff and have a good chat, and we'll go from there. So, anyway, a lot of crazy. Oh my God. I have been watching. And I will tell you what, I watch both sides. So I watch like I'll catch little things from like CNN, I'll catch things from Fox News, and I watch both, and I love how things are spun and the way that that they're talked about. And I was laughing. I was thinking to myself, and I'm going to give you a great example. All right, so we have a president right now that if you he was just doing his he was talking about Trump and Trump's stuff about NATO and those not paying their dues and blah blah blah. And so was in the middle. He was in the middle of talking, and he just like froze up for a second, and then you could tell he had no idea what to say, no idea what to say, and then he played it off afterwards. But so you look at the right is saying what is his mental capabilities? Is he losing it? Is he senile? And there is I don't know, just example after example after example of a gentleman that is declining, that is having issues, that is being propped up on the stage and all those type of things, okay? And you have the left on the other hand going, oh, he's perfectly mentally fine. They just said that he was guilty of doing wrongdoing, right? But that he should not be prosecuted because he is a um, elderly man with confusion issues, or however they said it. They danced around that, and so either you're with it or you're not. Okay, either there shouldn't be you know well, we're going to excuse this because he might be senile. But oh yeah, by the way, he's also running the country. Asif, he's a muppet. What do you expect? Oh my God, that's too funny. Thank you for the donation, Asif. I do appreciate that. Yeah, he's sad. Um, Again, you know, you already knew they were going to pull that card, of course. But for the left to be sitting there and saying that he's perfectly fine and there's nothing wrong with him, that's delusional. That is absolutely delusional, and it's just I find that unbelievably interesting. There's a lot of talk going on, and of course, the excuse is, well, there was a border bill in place, and but the right, they didn't want to do the border bill. No, the right didn't want to do the border bill with all the attachments that we had to give 60 billion to Ukraine, that we had to give 14 billion to Israel, that we're given 9.2 billion in humanitarian aid to basically, who we giving it to? Would be giving it to Hamas, because they're in charge. They're the ones in control. So it's like, even though, well, it's humanitarian aid for Gaza, but realistically, if you ship that aid over there, who's going to take it? Who's going to control it? Who's going to do whatever with it? So, and it's weird. This is what I find fascinating about the situation over there in Gaza right now. So you got this last place, right, where Hamas has a stronghold, if you will, and Israel's going, okay, that's where we're going next. And everybody's like, oh, no, no, they have to stop. They have to stop. They need to have a plan of what they're going to do when they attack this city. How many cities have they already attacked, folks? And here's what I also love. I also love, and it's always a spin. It's always the spin. Okay. So you have Israel has gone into other hospitals, right? Because there have been proof by Israel has proven that Hamas has used the hospitals, and that there are, things going on there, and it's not an off limits place, right? It's just, it's amazing to me. And of course, now, oh, the poor Palestinians, they're the victims. Oh, we have to feel sorry for them. And again, guys, I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't. I really don't. I mean, you can only get spit on so many times before you go, yeah, you know what? You're not spitting on me anymore. And that's what Israel's doing. And again, I'm going to be perfectly clear. So anybody has any confusion, I'm not sure where Prepper Nurse One stands on this issue. Okay, but my stance is good for Israel. Do what you got to do, and they have my 100% support, and that's it. Okay, and if you don't like that, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. But yeah, after what they've done, how can anyone feel bad for them? Jason, that is the $64 question. Um, you know, Yeah, Geneva Convention rules are not in play with Hamas. When you're dealing with a terrorist organization, and that's what they are, they are a terrorist organization. So I don't see where the confusion is. And again, when they did what they did initially, I believe there was cheering crowds over there, right? Wasn't there cheering crowds that they went over and murdered innocent people? There's video of it, dragging bodies through the streets, and they're cheering, yay, yay. So you tell me, you reap what you sow, and that's how it goes. So, Arizona tea, not the best. There's a lot of better alternatives. Yeah, but guess what, All Seen Cats? I like green tea. I like the Arizona green tea. So there we go. All right. So anyway, it's we're gonna the title, the topic of this video, are we free? Right? So let's look. We're gonna talk about a lot of different things actually. Um, Ed, what are your thoughts on cortisone shots for back pains? I know that they help, neighbor Bob. I know that cortisone shots have helped other people, and I think that if you're having issues and you can go that route instead of surgery, surgery is much more invasive. A cortisone shot is going to hopefully deal with the issue, and it works more for some people and not for other people. I do believe that it's worth the shot, though. So, but for some people it works, and for some people it doesn't. You know. So that's kind of my take on that. Everybody is different. Everybody has a different threshold of pain. Some people have a higher threshold of pain, and some people don't. I mean, it's just it really, it's going to depend on where you're hurting your back. That's going to be part of it, and how effective it's going to be. So I hope that kind of answers that question. So we got 227 in the chat. We got a 77 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you ahead of time again if you would do that and to show support for the channel. I do really appreciate that. It really makes a big difference again with the algorithms. So I thank you for that reason as well. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure that you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So we just had the big shooting in Kansas City, right? And I always love the terminology, a mass shooting, right? You had 2 or possibly 3 that I know they've arrested 2. They had arrested a 3rd person and they let that one go. They arrested 2 teenage punks, is what they are, right? Teenage punks that shot into the crowd, killed the one woman. I think 30 people were injured. So you have that going on there. So of course, what is the very first thing? The very first thing that they thought, oh, we got to do gun reform. We got to do gun reform. We need to do something. We have to do gun reform every time something happens. Here's a weird, maybe I'm completely wrong. How about this? How about we go after the criminals, right, that are breaking the law? How about that, right? What about that? What about going after? Oh, so Larry says, I heard that the New York cop beaters are behind bars now. Well, they kind of had to, Larry, because of the outrage of people over that situation. Yeah, it's Okie Forge. It's a gun's fault. Exactly. You have 2 teenagers that shouldn't have their hands on guns, period, anyway, right? Carrying guns and doing stupid things with them. But they should punish you and me because of their actions. Well, that makes perfect sense to me. That's reasonable, right? Take away my rights because of idiots' behavior. Instead of going, hey, wait a minute. Here's a laundry list of crap. So I'm gonna go out on a limb, folks, and I don't know, I haven't seen, but I'm gonna say this was not a first time mistake by these 2 young men. Okay, I'm sure that they don't have a criminal record a mile long of things that they have done wrong. I'm sure they don't. I'm sure that they were church going, choir boy singing individuals. I'm sure that they were, because why would there be this criminal element that commits crime after crime after crime and keeps getting released back into society by our judicial system that doesn't prosecute these individuals? They just let them keep going until they do something major, and then it's like, oh, now we got to do something about it, right? It's insanity. And I love too, well, we need to hold, if you saw this one too, I'm sure you guys saw this as well as I did. They need to hold the gun manufacturers responsible. How is it the gun manufacturer's fault if somebody gets a hold of a weapon and uses it for a nefarious reason? How is it the gun manufacturer's fault? Right? We have background checks. You can't just willy-nilly walk in and get a gun. You have to go through a federal background check. Now the big talk, yeah, but yet the government sells weapons worldwide. Right. We provide arms for 108 different countries, folks. We give all them weapons and that's fine, so they can kill each other. What about, do we remember the thing where the guns, the automatic weapons were sold basically to the cartel, and then one of those weapons was used to kill a border agent? Who remembers that? I remember that. Shouldn't the government be held responsible for that one? Do you think? Maybe because it was their fault. They're the ones that did it. Fast and the Furious. Exactly, Jason. I remember that. Do you think the government took responsibility for that? Did they pay? Right? Did they take care of that family? I wonder. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. So, again, you know, it is amazing to me that yeah, at a weapon is a tool just like a ratchet wrench or a pipe wrench. Exactly, Tony. And if it's in the wrong hands, I want you to think about this. To think about the number of people in this country that actually have guns, and there's a lot. Okay, and the one thing that stops criminals from doing willy nilly what they want is because they know that law abiding citizens, most likely, I'm going to use West Virginia, okay? They know most likely that law abiding citizens down here, they got a gun, all right, or more than one gun. And so they realize that if they go and break into somebody's house, right, to try to steal stuff, and that person is home, it's not going to end well for the criminal. That's the reality. Gun in 2,000 rounds at least, Larry, minimum per weapon, at least 2,000. And again, there is no maximum. There is no maximum. So it amazes me. I've been around guns my whole life. All right. I have been around guns my entire life. And, not one time did one of my guns ever shoot anybody. Not one time did the gun say, "Hey, we're 2,000 rounds into an intruder." Well, if they're still moving, JJ, military teaches us. Anybody that's been in the military, you fire until the threat is neutralized. So if that means I have to shoot that individual 10 or 15 times and they're still moving, I'm going to make sure that there's no longer a threat. Uh, but anyway, the insanity is so I know they were talking about proper store. Yeah, rant time. Exactly. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of the excuses of why they want to do what they want to do. Now they're talking about you know proper storage of weapons, right? So they're going to force you and me to store our weapons in a certain way. Yeah, I'll tell you where I store my weapon, folks. When I go to bed at night, and I'll put it out here because, like I said again, if you break into my house and you want to do something stupid, it's not going to end well for you. When I go to bed at night, I have where if I take my left hand, because I'm left handed, and I reach out, I put my hand on a weapon. All right. You break into my house in the middle of the night, it's all over. And that, she would be the one that would alert me first, obviously. So I would be feeding off of her energy. And if and if somebody had bad intentions, she'd let me know. I would know way ahead of time. So, but it's just, but that's why people don't break into people's houses. That's why whenever you have an area that is very restrictive of guns, you have a lot more crime. Why is there a lot more crime? Because the criminals know that Joe Average Citizen most likely does not have a gun because he can't, because that's the law. And the worst part is, if you did have a gun in some of these cities and somebody broke into your house and you took care of the garbage, right? You're probably going to be the one that's going to get in trouble. I don't know if you guys just saw, and I don't remember exactly what state it was in, but there was a teenager home alone, and somebody broke into the house to try to rob the house, and the kid shot him and killed him. Now he's not getting in any trouble because he shouldn't. Okay. Um, and again, that's the criminal's fault. You picked the wrong house. You picked the wrong person. It's just it never ceases to amaze me how you have um, automatic weapons are needed to defend yourselves from people with automatic weapons. Well, I mean, full auto is like we talked about that in other streams. I don't ever want full auto. I would rather not have full auto. because you can't control the gun as well, and it rides up and all those type of stuff. Tony says, Ed, gun-free zones invites trouble. Absolutely, Tony. If you're a criminal that wants to hurt people, that's what you're going to target is a gun-free zone. That's the problem. Hey, full of hope. A couple got a letter telling them that their house was being requested to house immigrants. Now they say it was a mistake, wrong address. Wow, that's crazy. Requested. Yeah, okay. Requisitioned. Oh, requisition. I read that wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's nuts. Requisition. Thank you very much for that information, and thank you so much for the donation as well. I do appreciate that. That's crazy. Yeah, I'd tell them what they could do with the requisitioning. Yeah. Now they're saying it was a mistake, wrong address. Yeah. That's absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. I know people talk about stun guns, pepper balls, all that type of stuff. Here's the reality, folks, okay? If somebody's brazen enough to break into your home when you are there, it's probably not their first time. They're probably a career criminal, and you putting them down and dispatching of them, you're probably doing society a favor. Now their family might not like it, but too bad. Okay? That's too bad. So think it started raining or snowing. I know we're supposed to get the temperature. Actually, let me see where we're at here. Sounds like snow or sleet type of stuff happening right now. Hold on a second. This is loading. I'll tell you in a second where we're at. Because I know that overnight we're supposed to start with rain and then it was supposed to turn to snow. Oh, right now it's saying rain. Okay. It's saying it's 41 in rain. So, but I know that overnight it's supposed to turn into snow. So, just saying equal firepower. No, I understand what you're saying. No, that's not a problem. We need to be able to, yeah, requisition kiss my behind. Exactly. It's gotten insane, guys. It has absolutely gotten insane. You know, I think a lot of people. So we're going to continue. We're going to continue on this discussion. So now, all of a sudden, because of two reasons, okay? The outrage by the American people and how it is such a huge issue, the southern border. We're not going to talk about the northern border because they're coming in through there as well, but we're just going to talk about the southern border because it's a huge topic and it's a huge issue for the American people in an election year. Well, it's been an issue for the American people for a while, right? But now all of a sudden, the Democrats want to do something about it. I'm like, oh, thank you for finally realizing that we have a problem. They're all so full of crap, folks, okay? They're all full of crap. The left, the right, they're all full of crap. The only thing that they care about, and I've said this over and over and again, and I will continue to say it, the only thing they care about is the special interest groups that get them elected, right? So your big pharma, your banks, your power companies that got their hands in a lot of politicians' pockets, those are the ones they care about. And their rich friends, of course. They have to take care of their rich friends. That's all they care about. They don't care about you or me or what we think is best for the country. They could care less. It is a slap in the face to people in the United States of America that are suffering, that need help, when you have a pilot program in New York State, New York City specifically, a $53 million project that's giving these people $1,000 a month card to use for food. What about Americans? What about Americans that are suffering that need help? So, going both ways on the northern border. Absolutely, Emil. Yeah, no, you have a lot of people coming in. They come into New York and they showed it. They showed it. They know exactly where they got to go to get up into Canada. And that's what they do. That's what they do. So, and I mean, by this point in time, uh how many sleeper cells do we have in the United States because we have this open border policy and not making sure that things are secure and not making sure that these people are not coming in here just any way that they want to. So it's the insanity is just it never stops. And then let's talk about a boat coming from Canada capsized in the St. Lawrence River near Messina, New York. Oh, really? Oh, that's not good. Yeah, not this time of year, especially. It's a little water's a little cold for that. So I don't know if that's per person, Jason, or if it's per family, supposedly. I don't know I don't know what the stipulations of that is, but that's a lot of money for food. And I'll tell you what, I went to the grocery store today. All right. I'll tell you what I bought. I bought a case of water. I bought some more green tea because like I said again, I like my green tea. I got some ham, some Swiss cheese. I picked up chicken salad. I like chicken salad, so I got some chicken salad. What else did I get? I'm trying to remember what else I got. What else did I buy? It wasn't much else. I don't think it was. It was $50. It was $50 for that. It is insane the cost of. Oh, I know what I got too. I picked up more SpaghettiOs with meatballs because I like them. I was like, I got them here somewhere. I got more of them here somewhere, but I don't have them where I can touch them right now and go, okay, here's where these are. So I had to get six. I got six more of those. No, no Taco Bell today. Taco Bell is on Mondays, neighbor Bob. But no, it's like it's amazing. Yeah, no Cheez-Its are gotten ridiculously expensive. A box of Cheez-Its. If you're gonna buy Cheez-Its, you might as well buy the bigger. It's almost $7 for a box of Cheez-Its, and I'm like, yeah, no, no. Oh, I know what else I got. I will show you what else I got. Another box of Raisin Bran, and yes, I bought the cheap box of Raisin Bran because it tastes exactly the same. So that was the other thing that I bought was cereal. So I like my Rice Krispies, I like my Raisin Bran, and I like my shredded wheat because why? I was raised by old people, and that's what old people eat, and so that's what I ate. So if you don't like it, I don't even care about that. And with the Rice Krispies, I like to get the bananas, cut a banana up in the Rice Krispies, and do it that way. But yeah, it's crazy the amount of money that you're spending, just to get basic stuff that you need. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. And things I love oatmeal and grits. I like them both. Yep. Yep. I have a lot of oatmeal on hand. I don't have a lot of grits stocked up. I like the because of the protein of the oatmeal, and it holds well and it ages well, if you will. So I do have a lot of oatmeal on hand. So I definitely, it depends. Like I said, if I get, it's weird. If I like for breakfast, if I'm just doing cereal, those are my three cereals. But I'll do like oatmeal. Obviously, I do eggs with the chickens. I mean, it's awesome. So, you know, but yeah. So that's regular oatmeal with clean peaches. So yummy. Well, like for me, it's like regular oatmeal. You get it. You put some brown sugar on it and then milk, and that is awesome. So that's that. And you want to talk about filling? Like my grandfather always used to say, "Eat your oatmeal, boy. It'll stick to your ribs." God, I'll tell you, my grandfather's been gone since '92. I can't. Thinking about that is just amazing. How long he's been gone now. But my grandpa said the same thing. Matt says that's cool. Yeah. Oh, he was from that generation. I mean, they grew up in the Great Depression. So, but unfortunately, everything sticks to my hips now. See, for me, it goes two places on me. All right, it goes into my butt and it goes into my gut. That's where it goes for me. So, yeah. But anyway, you know, uh, oh yeah, put hair on your chest. Yep, I remember that one too. Yep, eat that up. It'll put hair on your chest. Or the favorite one they used to like to use when we were little was, there's starving kids over in Africa. You got to eat all that food. And I remember even as a kid, I'd be like, well, send it to them because it's not good and I don't like it. So, too funny. But yeah, it's I find as I get older, a lot of his sayings that my grandfather said, I use them all the time when I was raising my kids. It was the same type of thing. I used a lot of the same things my grandparents said to me growing up. I said the same thing to them. So very funny. But so anyway, let's talk about, are we free, right? When every time you turn around in this government, we don't, and again, folks, remember what I'm saying here. It doesn't matter who's in charge. So it doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or Republican, they're all doing the same things. They are slowly and continuously taking away more and more and more of our rights for our own good, for our safety. You know, I want you guys to remember something. What was a direct result of 9/11? I want you to remember what this was. And I want you to also remember a couple things as well. All right. The Patriot Act. You remember the Patriot Act, right? Do you think they whipped that up right after 9/11? Right? Do you think they whipped that up then? No, folks. The Patriot Act was written well before 9/11. Well before 9/11. And they used 9/11 to bring that in. And what did the Patriot Act basically say? That now our government can spy on our own citizens. And now I'm not saying it's being used for this. I'm not saying it's being used for this, but I'm just saying that there is a possibility that it might be the case that the government would politicize using the Patriot Act to possibly go after political opponents, people that did not agree with them, right? We're going to target these people. I want you to think about and I'll use Canada for an example real quick. All right. So you had Trudeau ushered in the, I can't remember what they called it up there, but he ushered in the thing, the insurrection something. I can't remember exactly what it was called, folks. Some of my Canadian folks tell me what did he usher in there because of the convoy? What did he call it? Because I can't remember what the Emergency Measures Act. Thank you very much, Janet. I knew my Canadian people would know exactly what I was talking about. So he ushered in the Emergency Measures Act, basically saying there's this horrible thing going on, and these people were protesting, right? They're peacefully protesting, by the way, right? They weren't tearing up. They're not like Americans where we like to burn cities and burn everything down and beat the crap out of people that don't agree with us and all those type of things that happened for months and months and months. Portland, Oregon would be a great example of that. Okay. What did they do? What did the government do up in Canada? They froze all their bank accounts. They screwed these people. They took their trucks and put them out in fields someplace and put all the windows down. Uh, you know, they took the gas from the truckers. I mean, they treated them like they were scumbag criminals, and they had the right, if you will, to protest what they did not agree with. And they should have had that right to protest. I mean, look what we do here in the United States. There's not a whole lot of peaceful protest in the United States. There are some, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there's none, but, usually, and it's usually from one side more so than the other side, that when they protest, fires get started, buildings get looted, and all those type of stuff. So freedom, talking about freedom, and you look what happened here. Let's realistically look what happened here. We had cities for months were under siege. You had federal officers being targeted and attacked, and all those type of stuff. Fires set, buildings looted, all that type of stuff. And here's what kills me about that. Okay, so you live in neighborhood A, and you decide to riot in neighborhood A. And so you burn down all these buildings, you loot all these buildings. And then when the companies that had stores and stuff in neighborhood A say, we're not rebuilding there. Well, you're a bunch of racists. How is it racist if you don't want to have your buildings burnt and looted and all your stuff stolen? How is that racist? That's a question that I would have. That just is good business sense. This is not a good area to invest money in, right? So when you burn down your own neighborhoods and you destroy your own stuff, that's your own fault, in my opinion. I don't care what neighborhood you're in, And it just has anyone seen any of the Mandela effects show up in their Facebook feed? I have had several show up. I don't know. I'm not 100% what you're talking about, Sharon. I know that if I'm talking about something, like if I'm here because my phone is sitting right here, right? If I talk about something or a product, let's say, next thing I know on Facebook, I'm going to get an advertisement for said product. So tell me they're not listening. Tell me they're not paying attention. Tell me they're not tracking everything that you do, every transaction. Look at what they're doing now, right? They want to, every gun transaction is utilized with a credit card. They want to know where did that go? What money was spent? How was it spent? Who bought that weapon? And all those type of things. So they showed a video from Compton, California. Everything was closed down. That doesn't surprise me, Larry. It really doesn't. You know, you need to have pride in where you live and all that type of stuff. At its like on the Air Jordans, is the guy wearing shorts or pants? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, and I've always said to you guys, if you're buying anything, weapons wise or anything, honestly, food, whatever, use cash because they can't trace cash, and don't use your shoppers club card so that they can say, hey, look it, this person is buying XYZ amount of food. Because if you don't think they're not paying attention to that too, they're paying attention to that. All the migrants were wearing Air Jordans. Oh, really? That I did not know. That I did not know. Village Homestead said I always pay with cash, and I'm the same way. I pay with cash because they cannot trace cash. You know, they might have you like, obviously Walmart has their cameras and all that type of stuff there, but that's great. That's fine. But I would rather pay with cash if I'm going to do something. I'm going to pay cash because I don't want to trace. I don't want them to be able to say, well, according to your credit card, you bought this, that, and the other thing. It's not. You know, Cash is still king. Remember that right now. For right now, cash is still king. But they want that to go away. Can you still buy a car or a truck today using cash? Yeah, of course you can. They're probably going to discourage you from doing so because they'd rather have you make payments. you know, they can't stop you. That's the point. They can't stop you from doing that. If you use a card, you can go online and get a detailed list of everything that you bought. We'll give you one up on that, folks. Okay. I get a report on my phone. I get a report on my phone. This month, you traveled here, there, and the other place, and here's where you went. Here's where you ate, right? Here's the day you drove the longest. You didn't see that those cop eaters were wearing in New York. They were all designer clothes and Sir Jordan or Air Jordan. Oh, I did not see that. I didn't, like I said, I just I had heard about it. I saw a blip of a video, so I didn't really wasn't paying attention to what clothes that that they were wearing and shoes that they were wearing. So, but yeah, I get a report every month of my traveling activities or for the year, right? Like, so I go to New York now twice a year. So I get, oh, on this day you traveled this many miles and you went here. So, again, you're being tracked constantly. We may not realize we're being tracked, but we're being tracked constantly. So wherever you go, this is what this is here, folks. This is a transponder. This is letting them know exactly where you are. How many times? How many times have they caught criminals because they said they pinged their phone's location to where the bodies were found? That happened up in where the boyfriend and the wife, killed the kids, and that's how they found the bodies because that had pinged in that location. So phone is tracking your every movement, absolutely, and it's also listening. It's also listening. So it is what it is. If you don't want to have that, then don't have a phone. But realistically, think about it. How many people have a phone? Almost everybody. Can they track it if it's off? I don't know, Larry. To be honest with you, I don't know. That I don't know. So I love sharing my location with my husband. We always know where we are. Yeah, have you seen that too? They have those things. There's an app that if you have in your friend's circle, and it'll tell you exactly where they are. I mean, if they're in a car driving, you'll see the person in a car, the little icon picture of them driving in a car. You'll know exactly where they are. Yes, it can be tracked when off. Okay, thank you, D. Bert. Yeah, I wasn't sure of if it could be or not. They absolutely can track the phones that are off, uh, but you have to be a big target for that kind of attention. Yeah, like I said, I mean, yeah, my friend finder app. Yes, Carol. Yep, exactly. But a lot of these kids, they have that, so they know exactly where their friends are, what they're doing, and all that type of stuff. It isn't. It's crazy. So how free are we really, if you want to think about it? See, my thing is this: like with what we're doing down here, we're not doing anything illegal. We're not doing anything illegal. I have I've talked to my group extensively about things, and we're not. Can you still get a burner phone? Oh well, of course. If you wanted to do a phone like that, you can still do that. Oh, the track phones and all that type of crap. Yeah, you can still utilize those, but it just most people have their phone on them 24/7. They don't have it far away from them. They do not have it far away from them. Yeah, but yeah, pay cash for the burner phone. Yep, exactly. I mean, there's always ways around everything, to be honest with you. There's always ways around everything, but most people don't think about that. They don't think about. I just saw too. Somebody had just sent me this information. They want to do away with landlines. They want to get rid of landlines, and so I thought that was quite interesting. Walmart now gets your personal info, but a burner phone, but not on a burner phone. Okay. Yeah, like I said, they have facial recognition. If there's any kind of people, see, here's what kills me about the whole thing. We need to go back to prosecuting people. When you have people stealing, why is it okay to steal up to this much and not get in trouble? What is that? What is that? Before it's a felony, right? Before it's a felony. And it's like, and if they steal under a certain amount, these businesses don't care. They don't care because they have insurance and they write it off. But at the end of the day, they already are getting rid of landlines here in California. That don't surprise me, Lori. California is usually the first one where they do anything that is not good, and then New York shortly follows thereafter. We can go back to the 80s, Ed. No tracking my beeper. Oh my God, that's too funny. I had a beeper. I hate to admit it, I had a beeper. But, yeah, better music and more freedom in the 80s for sure. That's for sure. Yeah, things have definitely changed. Things are different, you know, and there's a lot of craziness. Only the cool kids had beepers. Yeah. Too funny. Lone Wolf Prepper says I still have a landline, but they're looking to get rid of them. That's what they're looking to do. So that's something, I anything that is listen. So many times things that are passed through Congress are not for our best interest. I will tell you that right now. So what I can't believe just looked up and I'm, holy crap, I got to do the egg count. All right, so before we do, we had 305 in the chat. We got 160 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would appreciate it to show support for the channel, and I thank you for that. Again, it really makes a big difference with the algorithms as well, so I do appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well, and I thank you ahead of time. So. All right. How many eggs today? And yes or no, did the white hen lay? So let's do that. And we'll see what everybody comes up with. And we'll go from there. So. Give you guys just another minute. How many chickens do I have? I have 6 hens, one rooster, and 6 hens. All right. Hey, they wanted my fingerprints over my phone to give money to a charity. I didn't do it. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. If you had the same exact guess as John Hoover with 5 eggs today, and yes for the white hen, then you are 100% correct. Real happy about that with the chickens. If I'm getting 5 eggs out of 6 hens, that's pretty awesome. So, congratulations to John Hoover. You've won absolutely nothing, but you are happy about it. So, that is a good thing. So, there we go. But yeah, so, ah. Yeah, chickens have been good. They have been steady, nice and steady. I had one day this week where I got 1 egg, and I had a bunch of days where they've done really, really well. John Hoover said, Ed, I have a mole in the hen house. Oh my God, that's too. Well, I'll tell you what, the number of drowned mice that I pulled out of there, they got to be the stupidest mice in the world. How long will those eggs keep if stored properly? As long as you don't wash them, that's the key, neighbor Bob. Okay, you don't want to wash them. If you keep them in a cool, dry place out of the sunshine, they'll be fine with doing nothing else, almost up to 3 months. So, but yeah, they'll be good for quite a while. But you don't want to wash them first. The minute you wash them, that coating that's on there, the natural coating, it definitely is not good. So you don't want to do that. But 6 weeks if washed, Vicky said. Okay. Yeah, so it's you definitely don't wash them ahead of time. If you're getting ready to use them, if you want to wash them, then go ahead. I just don't. I don't wash them at all. Crack the egg, use the egg. That's what I do. You know, but obviously, if they're refrigerated, they'll last longer than that. So But yeah, I get them. I set them aside. I actually right now I keep them in the battery room for the most part. I keep them right in the battery room. It's probably the most, it's temperature controlled. It's for the most part, I mean, as long as it's not too cold. So yeah, but don't use soap to wash ever. No, no, don't ever wash with soap. But no, I'll tell you what, we're getting to a point here. I think very fairly soon. I talk about I did I do a video recently about it? Probably did, and I can't remember. Yeah, building that immune system. Hey, I'll tell you what. I mean, I'm pretty healthy as far as that goes. Oh, I gotta tell you guys, I was out today. All right, and I'm not making a judgment. I'm not making a judgment. Okay, I saw a woman at the store that not only had the mask on, she also had the gloves on as well. All right, but but it looked like she hadn't washed her hair. Oh, I would say at least a week to 10 days. Okay, that would be my guess. Week to 10 days that she hadn't washed her hair, and I'm like, okay, if you're so worried about germs, how about personal hygiene? And I didn't say nothing, folks. I didn't say nothing to her. I've gotten to a point. Um, how many chickens do you have? I have a total of 7 chickens, 6 hens, and 1 rooster. It's basically just me. If Steve wants any eggs, he can have any eggs anytime he wants. I'll save the eggs, and when the group gets together, we'll utilize whatever eggs I have, you know, to cook. That's what we use them for that weekend for the Saturday morning and Sunday morning. But yeah, but this woman, and like I said again, I've gotten to a point. I just don't say anything anymore because it's not worth the argument or the fight. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And if people want to walk around like that, then I let them do whatever they want to do. I'm not going to put myself in a situation where you know, I'm gonna compromise myself. That's the way. But it's like, if you're so worried about it, why are you not taking care of yourself? So, and again, if you're not washing your hair, all right, what else are you not washing? That's just my thing. So, but uh, Ed, you should see the picture of the St. Paul teacher all outside with masks, crazy. They wanted more money. Yeah, I don't know the whole situation. I feel bad for the teachers today, to be honest with you, because they're not allowed to take care of crap like they were allowed back in the day. I mean, I think I've told this story before. I'll tell it again really quickly. I was probably in seventh grade, maybe 12 years old, and I was an initiator. I was one of the ones that initiated it, and they knew I was one of the ones that initiated it. A food fight in the cafeteria, and I was a little snot, little punk kid, okay? And so the dean, um, oh my God, Ed, I did that too. Oh, that's funny, Don. So this punk, this dean who was like there was the principal, the assistant principal, and then you had the dean, and he was the guy like when you were bad, and we used to call him Rock Man because he had a false knee, because he was a um, I don't know about you, but I got my fair share of swats. Oh yeah. Oh, I did too, John. Oh yeah, plenty, plenty. But I got sent to his office. And so when I got to his office, I was being me, being a smart mouth and stuff like that. And he grabbed me on the top of my head by my hair and he pulled my head down. Well, my sister had been pulling my hair forever at that point, and so pulling my hair wasn't no big deal for me. And I pushed my head back up and I looked at him in the eye. So then he took the other hand and got me with both hands and he pulled my head back down. and he was too strong. I mean, I was a kid and he was a grown man, but you know, I had in my head, it was raised up from him pulling my hair, a big area of my head for probably a while. But I will tell you what I didn't do. I didn't go home crying to mommy and daddy about how this mean, guy did this to me. I deserved it, and I knew I deserved it. So I didn't, I took my medicine. That's what you did back then. Okay, you want to act like an idiot. There's consequences for your actions. So, but I was deemed most likely to grow up and become a Hell's Angel. Oh, that's that. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what my mom had said one time to my stepfather. My mom said, "I can't worry about Eddie because he will be dead or in prison by the time he's 30." That's that's what my mom said. So, and here we are, still not in prison, but I changed my decisions on what I was doing with my life too. You know what I mean? I didn't like what did he break out the paddle? No, he didn't break out the paddle. I mean, he let me know that what my behavior was not acceptable. You know, but oh, are you kidding me? We wooden spoons. I got wooden spoons, open hand, you name it. So, but took the other fork in the road military route. I will tell you what, I can honestly say the military helped me grow up a lot. It really helped me grow up a lot. So I never regret that aspect of it. Discipline, respect. It changes your attitude that way. Now, I came out of the military and I still did some stupid stuff for a while once I got out. But, you come to a point, and like I said, you come to that fork in that road, and you have to make a decision. Am I going to go to the left? If I'm going to go to the right, which path am I going to go on? And it's all about personal choices. So that's why it always kills me when people play the victim. Well, it's not my fault. It's because of this, that, or the other thing. No, it's because of the choices that you make. That's it. It's because of the choices that you make. So, but I hated picking a switch off the tree. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I know with my kids, to me, Eddie really helped me in a way with discipline because, like I said, now Josh, my stepson, I spanked Josh twice, and probably both times I spanked Josh, he was like 6 years old, and it wasn't because he wasn't listening to me, it was because he wasn't listening and he was disrespecting his mother. And in both of those times, I think it was two swats on the butt for him. That was it. Open hand, two swats on the butt. That's what he got, and we just didn't have that problem after that. I never ever had to spank Heather. I will tell you that right now. Heather never got a spanking one time because, for the most part, Heather did what she was told, and she was a good kid. Eddie, on the other hand, he was my trial. He was my was my test. Um, I spanked him a bunch early on, and it just didn't work. It just did not work. And then I had to figure out, with his autism, what's going to work with this kid. And that's when I came down to privileges and, like his whole world was that laptop and being online and stuff like that. So, I would take away his computer privileges for the day. And, now if you look at your kids wrong, you can go to prison. Yeah, no, I'm going to tell you what, I'm very old school. I ain't putting up with no crap from no kid. I'm not going to be disrespected, especially by my own kid. Yeah, Eddie is a different case because of the autism. But I learned to go a different route as far as discipline went. And I'm going to tell you what, and this is what I kind of figured out, and it worked so well with the other two as well. There are worse things than catching a beating. Okay, you get a spanking, it's done, it's over with, and there you go. But if I take away something that you want for the day or for a week, that hurts a whole lot more. And and it was a way to utilize that as a tool to get them to comply. Yeah, the consequences for their actions. You want to do this, that's fine, but here's what happens if you do it. And you lay it out. And so I found that it made me personally, made me a better parent with my other children, as well. So that's just kind of, for me. Now, don't get me wrong. If they needed a SWAT, they got a SWAT. I don't know if I told you guys this story or not. I might have told you this one. So when Eddie was 16, all right, Eddie decided for some unknown reason that I could not even begin to fathom that he thought it was a good idea this one particular night, and he punched me right in the mouth. Closed fist, punched me in the mouth. Okay. And I knew that if I punched him back, I probably would have killed him. So what I did, open hand, I slapped him twice right-handed, once left-handed. All right, and I'm left-handed. So I slapped him twice right-handed, then once left-handed, and then I stepped back and I went, "You want to go? Come on, bring it on." Well, he didn't. He was like, he was like, "You you hit me." I go, "You punched me in the mouth. You don't think I'm going to defend myself?" I don't know what his mind process was or what he thought was going to be the consequences or there wouldn't be any. Well, yeah, 16 they test. Well, he found out that that was not the right test. And I'll tell you, I can tell you guys, Eddie never raised his hand to me again, ever. Because he realized that dad wasn't playing. Because it's like that's one thing that was never going to be allowed. You are not ever, putting your hands on me and not thinking something might happen back. I had that discussion, I will tell you, with Josh one time. And Josh was like, again, around 16, copping that attitude and just all full of himself. And I was making him stack wood, and he was acting like such a jerk that I pulled Heather off and said, "Heather, nope, Josh is doing this alone," because he was being that much of a jerk. And so while he was stacking the wood, I was talking to him, and we'll do the shout outs in just a second. I wanted to share this story as well. And I remembered saying to him, I said, "There's going to come a point in time, Josh, where you're going to think that you're big enough and that you're strong enough, and you might want to take a swing at me." And I told him, I said, "I will tell you right now, I will never physically put my hands on you." I said, "But if you take a swing at me like a man," I said, "I am going to beat your A." And I said, "Just putting it out there so you know, so you understand the consequences if you make that step, what's going to happen." And he never said a word. To his credit, he just kept stacking wood. He never said a word. And I never ended up having any kind of, conflict with him. But you put it out there, you let him know. So why do boys do that? My brothers wanted to step outside with dad. Didn't end well for them. I never even thought about doing that. It's a testosterone. They start feeling like they're a man and they can act a certain way and they can get all cocky. And you got to put them in their place, is what it comes down to, unfortunately. So, all right, we're going to do some shout outs here, guys. So, again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that. Again, it really makes a huge difference with the algorithms. My boys never ever did that, but my girls, they had to learn the hard way. It's it's dependent on the kid. It's dependent on the kid. So, all right, let's do this. We got Heavenly Hills Homestead, Ryan growing giant vegetables. Definitely go show him some support. Growing season is right around the corner. We have Icky Can up in Canada, doing his thing up there. Definitely go show him some support up there. You have Angry Prepper, that's Jason in New York City. Jason's a good dude, and definitely check him out as well. It's challenging the alpha male. Yeah, you're right, John. I get you. I get you. You have Alaska Prepper. That is Rudy. Rudy's a great guy as well. Definitely good channel to check out and listen to. There's Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance, two different channels, same guy. A lot of great information. Master builder up in Canada, living off grid, doing his thing up there. Really fun to watch him. There is Demcad. Demcad's another good guy. A lot of good info on his channel as well. There is Corporal's Corner. You have Bjorn Hansen. There is 80K Man in the Adirondacks. Good guy as well. Good information there. You have Bizarizza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles, a very interesting story. Definitely worth a listen to. You have Marfugal News, Adam and Dax out on the West Coast in Seattle, doing their thing out there. Good channel, good information there as well. You have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. There is Wranglestar, that is Cody. A lot of good info on his channel as well. You have Red Poppy Ranch. There is Survival Lily coming at us from Europe to let us know what's happening over in Europe. You have Kyle's Cabin. Kyle and Sierra up in Minnesota doing their thing up there, living off grid. Nice young couple. There is Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods. Husband-wife team, two different channels. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska. A lot of good information on there as well. You have Green Greg's, another good guy, definitely worth a listen to. Southern Prepper 1 with his Boots on the Ground series. There's Gray Man Prepping. You have Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy have been around for a long time. A lot of good info on their channel as well. There is the Green Dream Project out in Arizona. A nice young couple out there showing you what it takes to live in the desert. Definitely worth to listen to. There's Camping with Steve. Steve Wallace doing stealth camping. A lot of fun to watch him. You can pick up some good tips there. Bush Doctor Survival. There is Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader. She's been around a long time as well. There is Boss of the Swamp, another master builder. Very fun to watch him do his thing. Like I said, I wish I could build like these guys do. They just unbelievable with their skill levels. There is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Diamond's a very smart guy, definitely worth a listen to. You have Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. Straight shooter, she says it like it is. Definitely worth listening to her as well. There is City Prepper. You have Lumina Acres. There is Suspicious Observer, showing you what's going on with the sun and all the activity there. Definitely worth a listen to. There is Bear Independent. You have the Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear coming at you from the Canary Islands of La Palma. There's Mary Greeley News. Very interesting stuff with her. She gives you all the latest updates of what's going on, especially with Yellowstone and everything else. So definitely worth to listen to. You have Adapt 2030. There's Malachi's Corner. Truth Be Told with Tara. Definitely check her out as well. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy that you should be getting your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. Ryan Hall's a great guy, gives back to the community in a huge way, very passionate about the weather. Definitely, I highly recommend him. There is Russell Brand. I love Russell Brand as well. He gives you the information, he lets you decide what you want to do with it. Deep South Homestead, very family friendly oriented channel as well. Definitely worth to listen to. Good channel. You have The Outsider up in Maine. There is Betting on Alaska. The young man, he's the son of Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, starting his journey up in Alaska. Definitely made mistakes along the way, but that's how you learn. You have The Fit Farmer. There is Prep Rebel. There is Simple Life Reclaimed. You have Townsend's. Townsend showing you what it's like to live in the 1800s. Definitely worth to listen to. Good information on that channel. You have The Prepared Mind. There is Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee. There's East Tennessee Preparedness. You have The Economic Ninja. And last but not least, Little House Off Gritty. A lot of good channels out there, guys. A lot of good information. I definitely believe we should be supporting each other. There's other people are putting up here, and that's perfectly fine. I have no problem with that. I can't give a shout out to everybody. Thanks, Ed. New video this Sunday on fire starting with Rod and Flint. Oh, very cool. So definitely check that out, guys. If you want to know how to do it that way, it's probably going to be a good video. Again, we're a small niche community. We should be supporting each other. We should not be fighting amongst each other. It doesn't do any good. There's nothing positive that comes from it. So to me, it's like I'm not going to feed into that negativity. So I do shout outs, and like I said, again, we're a small niche community and we should be supporting each other. So anyway, again, I'm going to always encourage you to continue to prep, continue to get ready. We don't know how much time we have, but I think it's important that we continue to stay proactive, work on things, take care of business. And when the time comes, none of us are going to be ready for it the way that we had hoped we would be. The only thing that we can hope is that we are more prepared than the average person and put ourselves in a position that we can survive whatever's coming. And I think that's the important thing to do. So that's just my take on that. All right, let's do this. We are Legion because we are many. We are all over the world. We're all over the country. Where is everybody from tonight? We have cloudy California with Lori, Fayetteville, North Carolina with Carol, Gold Hill, Oregon with Matt, Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge, Northern Virginia with Robert, the UP of Michigan with Dawn, Central Iowa with Robert, Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house. We got Critter Lover down in Virginia, Southwest Iowa with Vicky, Palatico, Idaho with Janita, uh, snowy Franklin County, Ohio with Compton Moon, BC, Canada with Janet. We got Minnesota's in the house. We got Edgewater, Florida with Judy, Athens, Texas with Kathleen, Missouri in the Ozarks with Delbert, CL coming at us out of Ohio. We got East Central Illinois with Ranger, BC, Canada with Emil, Leesburg, Florida with Joan. We got Broken Dolly coming from Elmont, Tennessee, Olympia Peninsula in Washington with KC, Greenlee County, Arizona with Codster, Charlotte County, Florida with Gloria, Kit coming at us from the west coast of Florida, Cape Cod, Mass, Mississauga, Ontario, Canada with Joyce. We got Troy coming at us from North Carolina, or Troy, North Carolina with Maverick. Sorry, man. Fort Payne, Alabama with Carol and Rocky. Madison, Minnesota with H12, Southwest Missouri with Kelly. We got Belgium in the house with the Holler. Glad you stayed up late with us. Central New York with Village Homestead. West Central Ohio with Dale from Ohio. Hello from Canton, Ohio with Chad. So again, folks, we are all over the country. We're all over the world. We're in a huge network of people. We got Lewiston, Michigan with GM. Delaware County, Pennsylvania with Urban Drone. So, huge network. We're all over. We're the ones that can make a difference now. We can definitely make a difference after an event by continuing to try to wake people up and to help people. We got Western Kentucky with Kimberly. Let's see. But yeah, again, we're, like I said, we can do this. We have now I wouldn't say we have an obligation, but in a way it's an obligation. I think we've been awoken because there's a reason for that, and we need to do something about that. And if we can help people after an event, I think it's important that we try to do so. Working together is the key, folks. If you want to make it long term after an event, it is definitely you have to work together, and that is definitely the key. So. What do we got? It's buffering, but not white. Dawn Hill said. Screen flashing happening at. Oh, really? See, I'm not seeing anything on my end, so that's weird. Because usually a lot of times when there's problems, I'll see it on my end as well, but I'm not seeing anything. So I'm sorry that some of you guys are having to deal with that. It flickered briefly for me, Joyce said. That is so weird when it does that. I don't know why. I don't know why it does that. Freaking YouTube and the weather. Could be a combination of both. Could be a combination of both. You never know. that is the absolute truth. You never know. Solar interference, Robert said. It could possibly be. Like I said, folks, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the game plan is next because we're not obviously privy to that information. But the more that we prepare, the more that we're ready for that, whatever may happen. I'm pretty sure I'll get another survey after this live stream. Yeah, JJ got a survey. He sent me a text and showed me, uh, and it was very funny. Hella's doing great, Lori. She's good. Yeah, she came early in the stream and jumped up here and said hello. Now she's back to laying down. It's a good dog. I can honestly say, the best dog that I have ever had. She is absolutely the best dog I have ever had. And that connection that I have with her, I've never had with any other animal, ever. And I do plan on breeding her this year, probably to my own detriment, because I will keep a couple of the puppies. I definitely plan on keeping at least two of the puppies. So I will have my own little pack of German Shepherds down here. And I remember, it's not that long ago. She's 3. Um, so I remember what it was like at first with her peeing and pooping everywhere and not getting it that she needed to go outside. She is gorgeous. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. Yeah, that dog got into my heart. There's no doubt about that. And she is the best companion. She really truly is. And so no, you'll just have more security. Well, there's that too, JJ. Yes, there is that too. No, she is a fantastic animal. Very, very awesome. So anyway, how old do they get? With shepherds, you're generally looking at about 12 years. A lot of times they get the hip dysplasia, the holler, and that's what usually takes them out. But your life expectancy on a German Shepherd can be, if you're lucky, 14 years, but generally about 12, and that's if you're lucky. So, and she like I said, she is a fantastic animal. She is an absolute fantastic animal. So, like anyway, I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. I think that add one more minute close to spring forward. Yeah, no kidding. Every day we get a little bit longer, a little more sunshine every day, which is okay with me. We just crossed over where sun sets after 6 p.m. But thank you again to my moderators, ladies and gentlemen, that moderate for me. It means a lot to me. I appreciate everything you do. Janet said she got a survey too. That's pretty wild. Uh, Again, I want to thank all you guys as well for being here, being part of the chat. We really have to come together. We really have to come together. And I think that that's important. If we don't come together, we're screwed. Honestly, that's just my opinion. If we don't come together, we're in big trouble. So, anyway, remember, folks, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. If we could ever get beyond the petty nonsense that is perpetuated constantly upon us with race, religion, political affiliation, all that doesn't mean a thing. It's nothing. It means nothing. We have to come together as human beings and work together, and we can be very successful, I believe, if we do that. Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day, excuse me, tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Also, remember the most important thing, folks, STD, step, thing, and day. Whatever you're trying to accomplish in life, whatever you're trying to do, doesn't necessarily have to be about prepping. It doesn't necessarily have to be about living off grid. It's whatever your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations for yourself are. If you are the only one that's going to stop you from reaching those goals. If you set realistic goals that you can meet and then set about to making them happen, you're the only one that can stop you. Stay away from negative people that tell you what you cannot accomplish. Their opinions don't mean squat. I could not tell you how many times through the years people told me, you can't do this, you can't do that, that will never happen. And my answer has always been the same. It has always been, watch me. And guess what? Every single goal that I have set, everything that I wanted to do, has happened and it will happen. I still have more goals that I want to accomplish. They will happen. They will come together. So that's what people need to understand. So that's where I'm at with that one, folks. Keep hanging in there, keep banging away at it, and you guys will be just fine. Please be safe. Have a great weekend, and I will see you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse One out for now.